What
Okay.
is the millennium? And part 2 is, what is its relationship to the first and second resurrections?
The word millennium means 1,000 years. It's made up of two Latin words, milli meaning thousand, anno meaning year. So it's 1,000 years. The word millennium does not actually occur in the Bible, but the expression 1,000 years occurs 6 times in Revelation chapter 20 from verse 2 down to about verse 7. And so it is a teaching of the Bible, and it is a period of time that comes between the second coming of Christ and the third coming of Christ. Christ comes the second time, according to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, 1 Thessalonians 4:16. He comes back at that time. His brightness destroys the wicked, and he takes his redeemed with him away to heaven, and they're with him for 1,000 years. Actually, we can go to Revelation 20 and begin reading from verse 1, so that the Bible can do more talking than I do. Revelation 20, reading from verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold upon the dragon, that old serpent, which is called the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season or small season. And so we have the introduction of the 1,000 years. It is connected with a period when Satan, he's chained, not in literal chains, of course. They're chains of circumstances, because all the wicked are dead and the righteous are gone. And he's restricted this earth. And so the earth is called the bottomless pit. It is not actually a pit, it's just the world in a very, very dilapidated state, because at the coming of Christ, cities crumble, mountains fall, islands disappear. Jeremiah was given a view of the world in this chaotic state in Jeremiah chapter 4 from verse 23 to 26. I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void. He's describing the condition of the earth when Jesus comes. And he takes his language from Genesis 1:1, the condition of the raw matter before God formed it into something beautiful and artistic. And so he tells us in Jeremiah 4:23, I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form, and the heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and all the hills moved lightly. And so the mountains were shaking, literally shaking. Hills would overthrow. I beheld, and lo, there was no man, and all the birds of the heaven were fled. Nothing was alive. That's the state. And this is where Satan is bound with his evil angels for 1,000 years. And so this is the millennium. And of course, while the devil is on the earth, the saints in heaven are doing something with Christ. And we'll get to that, I'm sure, based on subsequent questions. But the millennium is a 1,000-year period which stretches between the second coming and the third coming.
Amen, amen. Thank you for that, Elder Skeete. And I really love how you made it clear that during the millennium, no human being is roaming the earth. That's the righteous are in heaven, and the wicked dead are in their graves.
Right.
And we see as well that millennium is what separates the first and the second resurrections.
If you read verse 4 tells us, and verse 5, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were expired or finished. And so we know the rest of the dead, meaning the wicked, whom God did not take with him, they don't live again until the 1,000 years are over, when Christ raises them to let them see what they're about to get and how just the punishment is.
What a sight.
And holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, which means the second death hath power on those who come up in the second resurrection, which is at the end of the 1,000 years.
Amen. Amen. You know what's so, as you're talking, Elder Skeete, I'm thinking about Jesus, how he has power over life and death. And those that are raised in the first resurrection get a taste of that same power. So if you want to really have the power of the Lord, now is the time to commit our hearts and lives to him, because we do not want to be in that second resurrection.
That's right.